Wagwan people, this is your girl Yana Positive with another episode on the Yana Positive channel. This is Slice of My Life and I love to take you along the journey with me. Now, before we go any further, if you haven't liked or subscribed to my journey to my channel, please do so. It's the big red button right down below and click that notification bell so you can be notified when we upload another video. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for coming this week. I appreciate it. Mwah. Thank you, mi amors. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say that you guys have been so amazing and so great, and I really appreciate you. Some of you have given me feedback that my last video is a little bit too short, so now this one it's a little longer, I would say. Yeah, it is, but it's gonna be totally worth it. So as you may know or may not know, tomorrow is my birthday. I will be celebrating my 24th birthday tomorrow, July 8th. So I did go out for the weekend. Yay! I did go someplace and I want you all to guess where I'm going. Right now I'm going through the tunnels through Baltimore, Maryland, but I will end up in Did you guess? Did you guess? Washington, D.C. And of course, this month I will be showing you what my weekend was like because me do enough things. Me did not bear things. Country girl come town. It's really a season of country girl come town. Cause look on them building, look on them place here, look on that. What's that? And of course, this was an amazing trip. And what I found out, guys, is that most of these buildings are very historic. Look at that. Wow. Anyways, here I am on my way to here we go, drum roll, the Bible Museum. And for those who know but don't know, who think they know, and some who don't know but do know, oh, that's Cynthia. I am a total Bible nerd. So here I am on my way to the Bible Museum and I'm in for quite a surprise. I did not expect what I saw. Check it out. Entering into the second floor, we saw a quote that meant that the Bible helped inspire this country's belief and idea, the country being America. And it's something that we quite forget sometimes, even though the nation can be very liberal. The Bible did help build the foundation of like the Declaration of Independence, which you will see inside. And I really love the design of the Bible on the wall. You know, the writing in, I don't remember the language. It looks like hieroglyphics. I don't know. But here we go inside. There are some really original, very old books, Bibles in different languages or relation to the Bibles, and the whole idea of the Bible coming to America via the British to the Indians during the time that America was founded. And even though most of these British, they did use it to extort and did use it as a way to fool the Indians into believing that they were superior to them and ended in a lot of violence, the Bible still stood as a common ground to guide the morality of some of the settlers that were actually genuine to its cause. So it was really, really good to be reminded of that piece of history and to learn that first-handed. Look at all the documents that were collected first-handed and look at the history of the country and how the Bible influenced that history. There's also the reminder that those who did use the Bible for wrong, there's also those who used it to uphold the fact that slaves from Africa were not to be enslaved, and this preacher says, "Am I not a man and a brother?" really reminds us that there were people who were anti-slavery and who did use the Bible to uphold that. And this is a well-known poem that was written for children to actually learn the Bible. In Adam's fall, we sinned all the life to men. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. Isaac Newton. Galileo Galilei. Yeah. Not sure who this is. George Washington. Xavier. Artist and inventor. This actually is interesting because it was the first Bible to be on the moon. I know that's significant that the Bible was elsewhere other than Earth. Also sounds very expensive, but who am I to judge? It's Passover table. Passover, like Passover, like the it's like a meal that Jewish people share.
Oh, okay.
The feast of Passover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was supposed to be abolished, like why we don't celebrate it in Christianity because Jesus died. So it was. That's how they use the print paper. These are nice. Those are Bible leaves. Gutenberg Bible. And I'm guessing this would be the press. An example of what it would look like because this is not the original. It's too new. So this was actually a recreation of the Holocaust, or what it would look like, and how they really had to hide the Bibles in the sole of their shoe. And we celebrate such a freedom today to use it freely that sometimes we don't even use it. And it's just a reminder that at one point they were burning the Bibles, So, So when we stepped in, all the attendants there recommended that we go to the third floor. And guys, this is the third floor. Look at the lighting, the recreation of what it looked like in the Bible, the stone, the setting, everything was made to perfection to really give you that experience of what Jesus would have had, what the Bible characters that we read would have had. This is a small room that would have been in the house of the Bible characters. Thatched roof, reminds me of the story of the lame man being let down by his friends into the roof, through the roof, for Jesus to heal him. And these are really depictions of what it would have been like during the Bible era. And man, was it beautiful. Look at those sheeps. It made it really so realistic. It made you really, really look into the life of persons who would have lived during that time. Also places where trees where they would have picked grapes to make wine. It really is a beautiful depiction of what it's like. And of course, in these glass cases were stones, jars. It showed the daily life in the home of the Jewish people and how they use clay pots and so much stuff. That look at that little candle. The food looked pretty realistic. That's how the table was set for persons to eat. And of course, there were always like guests and travelers coming through that would stay with families. And this was a beautiful depiction. So there are actually realistic sounds coming from this area with the fire, and the bread and the fish and the vegetables, and of course the well where the water was drawn from. And it's such a great depiction of what actually happened outside of the daily house of persons during that time. Going outside, you can actually see where people are dressed as characters and they are reenacting what it would have been like to be a biblical character during those times. And it was pretty amazing to see everything come alive in such a real way that sometimes we read the Bible and forget that these were real people in real places at real time. So it was really good to really see that. This is a carpenter's shop. Uh, Jesus' home must have looked similar to this, and those are olives, and that's the olive tree. This is really interesting to see. Olive was an essential part of people's life. It created olive oil, which was used to light candles and lamps and all that good stuff so people could actually see. So it was an important part of their culture at that time. And women would use their daily living to do the grapes for wine and the olives for oil. And of course, they used it to make their bread. These are examples of jugs and jars, and it really was a beautiful place to see the reenactment, the lighting, everything. And this, oh my gosh, the view of what must have been a sea. I'm guessing this is Galilee Sea, and this is of course another character really discussing what life was and the languages that they use in the original Arabic language. So this floor is a little bit different and focused more on the writing, and it also focused on the different books related to the Bible and also biblical books in different languages from different nations and tongue. So now, no doubt you'll enjoy this one as well, but it's a little, a little more formal than the other one. These are items I collect. So you drag one piece of fragment, can you find, then you match the fragments that belong there, and they tell you what type of fragment it was. This is interesting. This is a piece of original paper. I don't know if this is what King David wrote, but I know it's pretty old, and it's translation. These give you the different paper types that were used and give you a feel of it and where they actually came from. Of course, these were people that live off nature, so most of them came from sheep or the trees, and it was all natural people, not like what we have today. This is a clay model of what cities would have looked like in that era. And there are different numbers to represent different parts of the city. And it was very interesting to see. Speaking of clay, the next floor showed some really interesting items. These artifacts were collected by the museum over time. That's actually an oven. You blow through that hole, it comes up there. See? There we go. That's how we break bread. And of course, they showed many other artifacts that they collected. These are original pieces showing steel stamps that would be on the clay jar handles to show who it belonged to. And these were actually like elite clay pots for elite people. Moving on, these were figurines. My grandma would love these on her dresser. Kidding, not. But these are actually figurines. We have the glass ones, they have the clay ones for those times. I guess they would put them in their house for decoration. And these are coins, silver. I wonder which one of these silver coins Judas betrayed Jesus for. Ooh, they look interesting though. I wouldn't betray him though. It's the open brain. But these are also coins that were used during that time. And Herod's lead weight, which is said to be the only one that has been found. So a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff in this area. It really shows the items that the museum has collected from the Bible era that has been preserved. These are elite pots. I guess it would have taken them a lot of time to get all those shades in. And these are concretes for wall decoration. And those are purity stones. They're beautiful, guys. Look at that. And they were preserved all this time. These were bathtubs for babies. And there is one with Yeshua on it. Guess who? Da-da-da. And they would mark the names of their babies on it. And who that baby belonged to, so that nobody could steal their little stones. Yeah. So just like that, our tour is done. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. This part has like a garden view and everything. Beautiful. We're going back. The church bell was ringing, and I thought it would be a good time to capture it. We went back to the hotel, put our feet up. Oh, look at these buildings first. They're really old, really nice. Ta-da! Yay! And guess what I had for dinner? Good old guacamole. And after 5 minutes of Google search and 4 minutes of walking, I finally found my first love, a chocolate shop. And in that chocolate shop, I got chocolate coconut ice cream. That was so good. It was really so good. So we went outside, watched the baseball game from afar, right there. And I ate my chocolate, or I tried to eat most of it. I couldn't. And then we left and went back to the hotel after the game had finished. And it was an amazing day. Thank you so much for joining me. This is your girl, Yana Positive, with another episode on Slice of My Life on the Yana Positive channel. Catch you later.